G'day, I'm Nat, this is my Knacker's Yard, and this is my Yamaha Virago XV535. Right, so continuing the paint job on the Virago. If you looked into my last video, you would have seen me giving an example of what we're after, and effectively it's this lovely paint effect in the purple. So I need to put some purple on the some purple candy coat, can brush candy coat on the tank. That's all prepped to go for that effect. It's been in the airing cupboard overnight, so pretty much cured. I'm still being very careful with it because just out of force of habit. Anybody that watches this will know my feeling on stickers, on decals. I really don't like them. It's a little bit of snobbishness from me. You know, I don't think a go faster sticker makes your bike go any faster. However, I do think that if you've painted your bike and it's got none on it, it looks a little bit odd. So therefore, what I don't want to do is try and fool anyone that it's a factory paint job by sticking the Yamaha on this. I've done it on other ones, it looks fine, I just didn't want to do it on this. Don't really know why. So what I've got is the Yamaha stickers. So they're going to go on. Now I've hung it on rather than mounted, so I wanted to get the bike at the right angle that it sits at, because if I'd just done that on the bench it would have been off, and obviously on the Yamaha signs it's got the up and down and everything else, so I want that nice and vertical. So all I'm going to do, I've chucked it up on here, I've got a bit of masking tape, that paint is pretty much cured. I'm only going to tack this on anyway, so I'm not going to put it on hard. It's just to give myself a vertical, it's a little bit of anality. I get that. I'm not gonna go for a plumb line or anything to get a straight line. I just want something that's about right. This would be bad candle work, I apologise for being in the way. There we go. This is all I'm doing, same on the other side. I'm not doing the backwards and forwards lining up, I just want to get a nice vertical. Right, I can now whip that off, chuck that in, and we'll get these decals on. Okay, set up to spray, supervised by one dog. Lady, you alright, Pete? Yeah, good. 1 cup of tea, one nice warm out of a warm bath outlet pot with some more water in it. Can brush spray paint, candy purple. I'll give that a good shake in a second. A slightly better setup to do the tank. This is in my shed. That is a bike maintenance stand, you know, a pedal bike maintenance stand. Nice and secure on there with a pole through it. And it just means that I can spin it and get around to it. And there's the decal on what looks like a really daft angle, but is fine when the tank is actually mounted. Hence needing to put it on the bike before you work that out. Right, cool. I will find somewhere to hang you and then start the painting. Right, so bearing in mind I'll be moving around and it's not exactly the most sanitary conditions to spray in. A little bit of a Halfords paint wipes action of tack cloth just to get it schmeg free. Trying desperately hard not to kick my cup of tea over. That would be a bit of a tragedy. So a bit of a better setup in here than I've got outside. I'm going to go nice and thick on this, which means it is going to go pretty dark, which means that I might have to do a little bit more on some of the stuff that I've done so far, just to try and keep an element of uniformity and colour match. Right, let's just let that evaporate and then I'll get on with the painting, and I'll use that time to give that can a good shake. Right, so nicely shaken up. Trying to do a dust coat, it's really hard with lacquer to get a decent dust coat because it wants to go thick quick. But I will do what I can. I'll try and start low. And do a lap low. Right, that'll do for first dust coat. I'll leave that for a bit to key in, just nice and light, just powder it on. Okay, so a few minutes later, and another bit of a duster. Trying to go from angles. Right, that'll do. Give that a few minutes. Okay, so that's had a good long dry while I got a load of laundry done. The byproduct of kids going back to school. Alright, and let's start doing a bit of wet coats now. So I'm going to start at the bottom, which is where I routinely neglect. Right, so going reasonably fast because I don't want to start a run. So going for that 50% overlap. No, I don't want to do it like that. It's more stable doing it like that. Right, that's a decent wet coat there. So it's starting to get better coverage and that colour's really starting to shine out. Now this is the point where it's really tempting to cock it up and to just keep going on wet coats, and it's going to run if I do that. So I'm going to hold it there, give it another dry break and then come back. Okay, so a few Mother's Day chores later. Let's go for another wet coat. In fact, I think I might find a better way of filming it for you. Right, so got you slung up on a head cam here that I normally have on my helmet, just to see if it will do any better job of filming. I'll have the other one going as well, and I'll see which one's best. Right, so nice wet coat. So going for that 50% overlap. And chasing a tide of wet as it goes across. Or a line of wet. Oh, yuck. You find a better way of doing that. I'm going to turn it like that and make my hands go purple. Back round you can, big fella. Right, now this should hopefully give you a better view of what I mean by that tide line. You can see that line of wet that I'm chasing up. See, so there's a nice like tide line of how far I've got. That's what you're after. That's the best way of keeping track of where you are. So from the bottom, I'll get closer so you can see it. See that tide line moving up. And I'm just chasing it up. Chasing it up the body of the tank. Right, now it's starting to get really... Okay, so last coat I think. Going for a bit of an experiment in to be wide. Right, so continuing to experiment in filming techniques, I have a hand spray cam. I have no idea if it'll work, but I'm just trying to get you the best view I can, really. Right, let's do what's probably going to be the last top coat, I think. So going nice and thick. Right, see if this gives you a better view of that tide that I'm on about. Got a strange feeling it's probably just making you feel seasick. I don't know whether or not I'm going to use this footage from this hand cam, but we shall see. I can tell you, it is intensely uncomfortable to wear. I think that's got us looking pretty good, I think. Yeah, and paint wise, I don't think there's another coat in there, but I do have that half a can, which I'm going to keep to balance up colours, I think. So I think that's the painting done for this session. Let's just let that cure. There's your view. There's your view, Governor. And the bit that I am particularly interested in is the ding that I repaired, which I am pleased to say I'm struggling to find. The only reason I can find it at all is because I know where it is. No, I can't spot it. That's good. My ding repairs have got better. It was on the corner just above the decal. So yeah, happy with that. Really happy with that. Right, let's let that cure and don't feel tempted to touch it. I can tell you, it is intensely uncomfortable to wear. Right, so while we are waiting for literally paint to dry, I'm going to have a go at these front forks. So, you know, some people have said that the Virago is a girl's bike. No, it isn't, because this one's bloody well hung. Thank you very much. I'm here all week. Try the veal. Yeah, it's got no centre stand, this bike, which is irritating. Yeah, that's so I've just slung it up the front, a bit of a jacking up so that there is enough that the wheel will move just to help me get it off. While we're also here, didn't film it, but last weekend I did have a bit of a go on the downpipe, which is looking considerably better. A lot better. Right, so first things first, let's get this wheel off. It also gives me a good opportunity to check out the brake, make sure the pads are good. Cool. Right, so that's the wheel off. One thing I discovered about this bike is whoever's worked on it certainly had an impact driver at some point or another. Christ. Yeah, while the wheel's off, have a look at the bearings. They seem fine on this, not a problem at all. Have a look at the brakes, and again those brake pads look, got you snagged up there. Pads look fine, absolutely fine, nothing wrong with them, nice and thick, nice and new. Right, so what am I going to do now? Find somewhere to put you where you're not immediately going to fall over. That'll do. Right, so what am I going to do? When I'm polishing this, I don't want crap flying everywhere all over this bike, and actually the diversion as well, so I'm just going to cover it up a little bit. I'm going to whip the seals off, push them up out of the way just so I can get to the edge. Don't actually look too bad. No real grinding. Why on earth you needed a little sticker on there telling you what PSI to put the tyres at? I don't know. That's what manuals are for, or what Tintranet is for. Oh, it's quite shiny under there. I wonder how long that's been on there. Yeah, I'm going to get a wet rag and just wet rag them down to start with before I do anything else. Take the seals off, mask my area off a little bit, and have a go. Right, I'll be right back. Right, so that's me all masked up. Got some old sheeting up just so this doesn't spray absolutely everywhere. Let's try and get you at a decent angle there. Oop. There we go. Right, I've got me ear defence on because I'm in the garage. It's going to be blooming loud. Right. So, right, so not an intentional fade to black there, my battery ran out, but there you go, you can see the end result of about 30-40 minutes work. So that is using, I forgot to show you at the beginning, I assumed you knew because you've seen other ones using Mothers on the angle grinder with a felt pad on it, and then a little bit of a clean up with anything acetate-ish. I was using contact cleaner, which is possibly the most expensive way of doing it, but I've completely run out of brake cleaner and carb cleaner at the moment, hence I'm not playing with the Sinis. Yeah, a bit of a wipe off with that, and then a final piece of Belgom Ali over the top, just to give it a bit of protection so it doesn't just go straight away. I've also given a quick once over around the rim of the front wheel just while it was off. It's easier to do than when it's on. Right, let's get this back on because the weather looks like it's turning rubbishy and I want to get the bikes away. Be right back. Right, and there we go. There's the money shot. Nice, looking really good set off against that, and the exhaust pipe as well. Look at that, brilliant. Right, happy days. That is me done for the day / weekend. I would love to show you rubbing down some of the paint, particularly the rear mudguard, which I was planning on doing, but frankly I do need to leave it to cure properly before I go near it with any sort of paper. So I don't think that's going to be on this video. It'll be on the next one, and I might actually do snippets throughout the week and build it up a little bit, because it's a nice little kind of evening project, doing a bit of rubbing down the paintwork, because if for no other reason I can do it indoors and in the wall. Right, that's me. Cheers all. I will catch you later. Ta-da.